Welcome to APW. This is the bottom line session. Just after, ears are ringing. It sounded awesome.
Thank you very much.
We're with Tom in the main room just before we load the van, and you've got a lovely Gibson Les Paul Studio Kemper orientated guitar rig going
Absolutely.
on. So take us through it. What have you got?
Yeah, wicked. So this Les Paul here, this is my number one. It's a really weird story actually. We did an 11-week tour last year. We did China and the States and bits and pieces like that, and I bought a Mexican telly,
right?
Just for a backup guitar, and never used it once. Didn't get on with a single coil, but it did a job. You know, took it around on the tour and stuff. When I got home, I thought I'm not using it. I need to get rid of it. So I posted it on all the social media forums and bits and pieces like that, saying, "Look, I've got one of these. What's out there?" And this really nice guy from my little town in Dorset just got in touch and he was like, I've got this Gibson in the loft. I've not touched it for 20 years. Literally hasn't touched it for 20 years. It's been up there, hasn't seen the light of day. And he's got a 10-year-old son who wants to start playing guitar, and he likes the idea of the Fender. Do you want to do a swap? So he came round, and this thing was looking pretty sorry for itself. Took it to my guy John at Guitar Mania in Bournemouth, and gave it some love, and it's the best thing I've ever had. And John rightly said, he said, you just got to keep playing this guitar. The more you play it, the better it'll get. All the moisture's back in it now, and it's just fantastic. I mean, it's a heavy bit of wood, but it's solid, it's bulletproof, it holds its tune really well, and I love the look of it. The colour's really quite rare. I've not really seen many like this.
It's just about coming out on the camera. It's kind of a maroony, burgundy, purpley.
Yeah, like a red, brown, everything.
Red, brown, everything.
Depends what the light is, really. But, I love it, and I really like boring looking guitars. I don't like sunburst, and I don't like bits and pieces. I just like one colour, and this. I love this one. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. Yeah. So.
It's sounding great through the Kemper rig.
Yeah, I love it. It's a big guitar. I'm chuffed with it.
So, normal Gibson 498R 490T pickups on
completely as standard as it came out of the factory. Yeah, not done anything to it, and nor is the guy who had it before. Just a lot of dust in the pickups. That's about it. But we're blowing them out slowly.
Yeah.
It's all good.
And then you go this way. Yeah. So what have you got going on down here?
So obviously, using Kemper, it's limited. I used to have loads of pedals. I used to have choruses, delays, and overdrives, tube screamers, stuff like that. Yeah. And it was brilliant. I loved my board, but it was the consistency that I wanted when it comes to touring and playing live. And the Kemper just offers that in bucket loads. Yeah. You know, you turn up and you get the same sound you have in every time. Yeah. So made a move to Kemper, and I thought, really tough with it. And then wireless as well, looking at wireless systems. Being the lead guitar of the band, I sort of, Callum's the front man, he can run around and do his bit. I've got to swap guitars when the new album comes out. There's a few tunings that are different, so I can't sort of just keep hammering out the same guitar all the time. So we had to think, right, what's the easiest way of doing it? And I looked at getting rack wireless systems, and I spoke to a lot of friends who are sort of guitar techs professionally. Yeah. And the thought of having rack wireless systems by your cab, running a cable all the way to the front of the stages, and some of the stages we've been lucky enough to play are quite large. You've got a long distance of cable there for signal loss to then hit your board, and then you've got to send it all the way back, so you're doubling your signal loss. So I came across this, the Shure pedals, and I bought one, thought I'd try it. It's digital, I'll give it a go. And it's been absolutely flawless. I was so impressed with it that I thought, right, okay, I'm not going to buy the rack. Well, if this is designed to be stood on, then it's going to be all right in a flight case to tour. Yeah, certainly. So I thought to myself, what's the next best thing to do? So I got an A/B switch, bought two systems. The two systems go into A and B. And all I do to change my guitar rig now is literally hit a chord, pass my guitar to the tech, tap that, and I'm live with my next guitar. So I can guitar change in seconds. But also, it just means that if we do anything in the States or we fly anywhere, I haven't got to take a huge sort of rack system. I can literally take this in one flight case and a Kemper, and it's so it's more financially viable. It's easier, and especially in an up and coming band, it's not always easy to ship around giant heads in cabs. We still use Marshall cabs on stage, but we've got the rack powered Kempers, so I still like feeling the air on stage, and I still like feeling the cabs, and that's something I really feel quite strongly on. So, but yeah, that's pretty much that. And then sorry, go for it.
So what profiles are you using in the Kemper? Because that's the thing. Because in the old days when you used to be able to carry two Marshall stacks and a Fender Twin, and you're not allowed to do that anymore because home taping or something ruined music or whatever.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. But so what packages are you using?
There's a lot of different on there. A lot of Marshall. Yeah. So we're using a lot of Marshall sounds. Some Messer as well, and sort of like a couple of Vox sort of stuff for the clean, real out there sort of mid-late to the songs, that sort of spacey cleans and stuff like that. But that's just the versatility of it. It's just fantastic. Yeah. But I am I am a Marshall guy through and through. I always have been growing up and being a guitarist.
Me too.
So I really didn't want to move away from. I had a beautiful JCM 900, which I still have.
Hey, yeah,
great.
me too.
I love it, absolutely love it. But this just makes sense for me at this time. So I wanted to try and get that JCM and other Marshall tones that I love and portray it really.
Yeah.
I also think that power is really important as well. It's it's not the most exciting thing to talk about, but getting a fuel tank just cleans everything up.
Yeah, I mean, so many people that I know and bands I've been in, the main noise problem has come from dodgy, daisy-chained, Tandy power supplies.
Absolutely, yeah. The amount of mates that I've got playing bands with these fantastic pedals, and they've got one 9B plug in it, and then it's just daisy-chained to hell out of it, and they're thinking, oh yeah, I get so much noise when I turn up. And I'm like, well, it's not an exciting thing to talk about, but I just think a staple thing really is get a good tuner and get a good power, and I never stray from the TU3. Max and Callum were all on TU3, so it just makes sense to stay on that same tuner, because obviously it just means tuners are pretty accurate. But I like Boss, and I also like having a separate standalone from the Kemper. And more importantly, my tech likes to leave me little messages, which is really sweet. So that's another thing Kemper offers.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Cheers, Tom.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Still with the bottom line, we're talking bass with Max, and you've brought the biggest boxes with you today, which is quite nice. So
yeah, we've got the whole thing.
Guitar in first. Is that a 70s style Squire jazz bass?
Yeah, so this is 70s modified Squire jazz bass. I should probably get a Fender, at this stage. But this guitar has a bit of a story behind it, because when we were first a band, probably sort of 5 years ago, it belonged to a friend of mine, and I absolutely loved it at the time. And I played it on one of our first gigs on a tour, and then literally about a year ago he sold it to me, so I finally got it in my hand, and it's kind of special because it's sort of been with me for so long without being with me. But I love the guitar. It's got a nice thin neck, really good action to play.
Did it come with a Duncan designed pickups?
Yeah. Oh, so this was sort of one of, I guess, the premium Squires that they made, I think, about 10 years ago. So it's completely as it was. I didn't really want to modify this one too much because all of my guitars I just completely transform, and after time I end up messing them up a bit. So I thought leave this as it was, as it hopefully always will be.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can say, "Oh, I should have a Fender," but if that's the guitar that works and if it's your sound, then
I do love it.
You'd have to get Fender to make you a signature version, which is basically that Squire with Fender written on it. And then they can charge $1,000. It'd be great.
Exactly, that's it. No, it's a great old guitar. It's good to have it on the road. Taught it for the first time with Pavements a few weeks ago, and just played like no issues at all. Yeah. Really cool guys. Good friends, and hopefully we'll be doing more shows with them soon. So
nice.
See how we go.
Where do you go for the guitar then? Are you all the Boss tuners?
So I run a Sennheiser G4 wireless system.
Oh, okay.
Normally, so I'll normally be going through this, and then straight into tuner. I go from the Boss tuner, obviously a classic, complete standard. I bought the bass overdrive by Boss. I just use that basically for a little lift on any choruses, just bring up the bass bit, add that bit of crunch to the whole mix, just sort of lift it for those sections. And then noise suppressor. I wasn't sure how it would work for bass. I heard that it might sort of interfere with tone a bit and stuff, but I played around a lot with it and had no issue with it, and it just makes sure everything's just a bit tightened and cleaned up, you know. So there's no fuzz or anything, especially when I've got the overdrive on, because that can have a bit of noise behind it. Then from the noise suppressor, I go straight into Ampeg SVT7. I went for this one out of all the SVT Pros because it's got the 1000 watts of output, and I normally run through an Ampeg 8x10. It just means that I can really use the speaker to its full potential, and it's got everything I really need on the front. I'm not an intricate, massive tone head who needs the graphic EQ and everything there. So this was absolutely perfect. Sort of played around with it, and it sort of just felt so right. I knew I wanted to go Ampeg because every time I've played Ampeg, it's been perfect. It's been really, really nice, such a warm tone, and then the rattle on top, which is great. From the Ampeg, the last thing is I run Sansamp in the back.
Nice.
Just use the rack mounted one. It's just got a couple more features, so you can just play around with the tone a bit more. And I run that through the FX loop, so I sort of get the extra rattle from the Sansamp.
So more
Right? So I was wondering if you like running a clean split to the front of the house, but no, you're doing the other way. You're just giving it more.
Yeah, giving it more. But run that through, and then you've got the low, rich tone of the Ampeg as well.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much me, A to Z.
Lovely. Cheers, thank you very much.
Thank you guys, thank you for having us.
No worries. See you next album.
Yes, indeed. Wicked. Cheers.
Hello, welcome to the APW. We're in the drum room straight after the session. I'm with Matt, and there's now going to be a continuity break because we filmed the next bit earlier.
We're in the drum room! Hooray! So, is this your touring kit, your main kit?
This is my touring kit. I've had this kit for a while now. I think I got it in like 2012.
All right.
I spoke to Carl, who is the owner. It's an 80 drums kit, and built up a friendship with him. And he's literally the coolest guy ever. So if you ever want custom built drums, I would very recommend 80 drums.
Yeah.
So these drums, these are all birch shells. The snare is actually a maple snare. That's
nice.
14 by 6. The tom is a 12 by 8. Kick drum is 22 by 20, and the floor tom is 16 by 16.
Sweet. So what about sticks? They're quite beefy ones you got there.
In fact, I've recently tried the last couple of tours. I've been going through different kinds of sticks, but I'm now on the Vic for the 5Bs.
5Bs.
And they do a pure grit, which is I used to have just a normal I used to have 5As. The problem is they had a coating on it.
Right.
So before every show, I'd be sat there with like a file or sandpaper, so I'm just sanding them down. And of course now they brought out a stick which actually has no coating on it, so you don't need to worry about like rubbing it down or whatever, and you can sweat ridiculously amounts, and it's still got so much grip on there. So
nice.
It's a cool stick.
Anything you set up that is different from when you're recording albums?
Exactly the same.
Yeah,
exactly the same. Obviously, I'll be normally at a live show. I'll have like laptops and stuff. But
right.
This is pretty much the same setup. So
nice. Oh, and pedals and hardware and stuff like that.
So I use all the DW. They're all 9000, which are they're so thick and so hench. And I would never change. I mean, that's such a good, solid, sturdy brand. So.
Yeah.
And then the cymbals, I've got usually Zildjian cymbals. I've pretty much always only ever used Zildjian. I've gone through numerous different sizes and different actual models of it. At the moment, I've settled with the quick beats. I've got 14-inch there. I've got two 19s, which are just the medium crashes, so a little bit thicker. I used to just go with the ordinary crashes, but I would go through them through tours. I'd be cracks, and that wouldn't always last. But these ones are much thicker. And then a medium ride, a 20-inch there, which I crash on, and I love the sound of the crash. It's a deeper crash than like the sweet rides and stuff like that. So, and it's a little bit thicker again because I'm quite a hard hitter. And then I got an 18-inch China, a custom China.
Nice.
So now you'll notice as well is all of them that have like slight bits of grease on them, because what I do after every show is I spray them down with WD-40.
Yeah.
And they kind of after me packing down, they kind of keep their shine. It doesn't bother me at all. Some drummers will be like, "Oh my god, the cymbals are so greasy, it's horrible." But I sweat so much when I play drums; it really doesn't make any difference to me.
And they do go cloudy really quickly, cymbals as well, especially with handling and stuff.
I'm very OCD about drum gear and stuff. I'm always like polishing cymbals or something stupid.
That's a good way to be, man. Well, thank you very much. It's brilliant today. My ears are ringing mainly from the Zildjian Crash.
They're so brutally loud.
Yeah.
They're great cymbals. They're amazing for if you do big shows. If you do small little tiny club shows, everyone gets annoyed because the cymbals are so loud, because they're very, very overpowering. And same with my snare. I have it quite highly tuned. The bottom of the head is it's cranked pretty much, just so I get that attack on it. I love a snare that just cuts through with the attack. So so there
absolutely.
You go.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Awesome. Lovely.
Cheers,
well, this is just after the session with the bottom line at the audio production workshop. This is Cal, vocals and guitar, and let's go and investigate, shall we?
Started, yeah. Okay, so interesting one with this. So I used to dabble a lot in playing, building my own guitars.
Right.
So this is the outcome of it. I have so many guitars that I could play, and I love it. I have a lot of nice, I have a couple nice Mexican tellies and a Jag Stang, a couple of Strats, but this guitar is such a beat up piece of crap, but I just love it so much. It's literally just a standard what's his name, from Sum 41, Derek Whibley body, with just a standard 70s neck on it. I upgraded the tuners to the, which ones are these? They're just the standard Fender locking tuners that you get on like the more deluxe models, and it just has literally a hardtail bridge that is falling to bits, and a JB bridge, like the Billy Joe one. And then this tone knob is completely doesn't work. It's just there for looks because there's 2 holes in it and 1 volume knob. It's like the most super simple guitar, but it never drops out of tune because like we throw. Like when we play live, our guitars get like tossed across the stage, like dragged along the floor. So I didn't want to bring one nice, so I just left this one, left it all beat up, and I just love it. It plays so good.
It sounds really nice.
Sounds fat, I'm really happy with it. I could have played something else, but I just wanted to. There's something about it. I think everyone has one of those guitars, don't they? They just love playing with, and this is. I mean, it's even missing a screw out the bridge, but it just.
That's the thing.
One day it'll get sorted.
No, but Telecasters, because that's it's basically Telecaster kind of deal. They do just go. I mean, I think mine's got a screw missing on the bridge as well, and some of it's filled in with the like chewing gum and stuff.
It's the best way to do it.
It's the most in-tune guitar you'll ever own.
Oh, absolutely. I'd never ever had this guitar drop out of tune, even when you restring half an hour before a show. Never drops.
Leave it in the bag for a week, bring it out, and it's still in tune.
Like a workhorse. I've had this for like 2 years now as this outcome, and it's never gone back.
It's lovely. It's one of my favourite guitars on the APW. I think your little handmade there.
Thanks,
I really like the look of it.
Thank you very much.
It's really nice.
Very cool.
Cool. And then where do you go from there?
So
You
I go from
Kemper
there
all the way.
into all Kemper. I don't have any pedals. Like before I had this, I had a dual rec with just the tiny little pedal board options. You had the gain, non-gain, and a solo, which I never used. So I taped it all up and just had one button. So that was literally me. Then we've got Kemper, which we can go straight into here. So everyone uses on stage Sennheiser gear. So it comes into 2 big like Sennheiser paddles, which then go into this distribution center here, which then splits it up into all the separate sections. So this is my wireless here, and then obviously Max's. It all goes into their own little routes. So we go into that, straight into the Kemper. Everything's wide in the back, and it's like a cable looming system. And it's literally just straight out. I only have one cable to my board, and it's just so simple. It's the most simple setup I've ever had, really. I play very rarely more than a couple sounds. Just use effects, really. I mean, I have every song patched in, so when we change, if we do a set list, I'll patch in the certain song. So like, for example, this is on Over and Over, but I can just patch it with another song and change it to like Reasons, or so every song has its own presets, because there's a few little like effects and stuff, and cleans are slightly different in some bits, but it's very easy setup. I don't like being at my pedal board all the time because we always run around on stage, so the easier the better for us, really.
And how does it feel compared to a real dual rectifier?
I mean, this is my third patch that I found for a Mesa. The first one was pretty good. I thought it was good, but then when you play it for a cab, it kind of had no balls to it. And then I think before this tour we just done about a week ago, we were just going through a few patches, and a friend of ours works for Lola Atlantis. And now Bullet for My Valentine, and he kind of passed us a little memory stick, put it on, and I found this Mesa dual rec, and it's just insane. So much balls. Sounds great out of a cab, sounds great out of PA.
It's sounding fat in there.
It's just plug and play. It sounds, you don't have to worry about a venue being hot and cold and stuff like that to get the right power. It's always the same, and it's quiet on stage. We run a cab as just like very quietly, just so you can get like a bit of feedback and bits like that. But usually our stage sound is really quiet, so it's perfect for our front of house to mix, because there's nothing to get in the way. Just a very simple setup. We've always been that way. Just nothing has to go wrong.
And you're running some in-ears so generally live. Our
entire rig runs through this, so we can rock up at a show. This is the Behringer X32 Black. So in the back there's 16 ins and 16 outs.
Oh wow.
So when we turn up to a venue, we give them 16 XLRs, they patch it in, and that's our sound check. Sounds exactly, every preset for our monitors is saved on here. So as long as those 16 cables are plugged in, our show sounds the same at every show in our ears.
That's fantastic.
Which is like an absolute game changer. Like I'd never experienced it before. I'm not even endorsed by them. It's just the best thing we've ever bought. A sound check would take 5 minutes. At an honest push. I mean, we never change our settings live. We all have a phone app. So if you do want to change something, you should go on there, change your settings. You don't have to worry about a monitor engineer
messing up your mix.
Yeah.
It just makes you play better as a band, really. Like, it really is a game changer. If a band's thinking about how they can up their live game, definitely suggest getting one. It's very cool. And that's really about it, really, with our rig. Like, it's so simple.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. We like that. We hate the more things that can go wrong, the better.
Yeah.
The less things that can go wrong, the more, should I say.
Totally.
We've had a lot of bad luck with gear, so like we've got this case all built and foolproof, and it's just bomb-proof.
That's the way to go, I think. Nice one. Thanks very much.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, thank you.